Please leave a message after the tone.
You've got several questions due. Your life is going down the tubes. What do you do when you need advice?
This is where it gets good. Good night.
What am I fighting for?
So turn down the lights, pick up the phone and leave a message for the new clan.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of Nude Clan After Dark. I am your host, Caleb Schweiss.
Caleb Craig.
Cameron.
And Zach.
And today, guys, it looks like we have one voicemail at the beloved, the all but memorized 385-204-3921. Please add your voice to our voices. It can become droning hearing only the same few people talk and the occasional chip in from Cameron. But you can upend the monotony with your own voice, like this caller here with this message.
Hey guys, so coronavirus hit, and all our grocery stores are making me wear masks and stuff to go shopping. Well, I'm overwhelmed with this impulse. Every time I go shopping with a mask on, to not pay for my stuff, I feel like a robber. And I know it's wrong, and I hate thieves. But every time I go to the self checkout with a mask, I'm like, why am I even paying for this stuff? Does that make me a bad person? And should I give in to the impulse, or should I stay strong and keep paying for my stuff? Interested to hear you guys have to say. Thank you.
All
Maybe
right.
we should start this out with the following are the host's personal views and not reflects the views of Geek Entertainment.
Yeah,
LLC.
my lawyer said I couldn't answer this one, so I apologize, guys. I got to bow out.
Yeah.
As a
person of
color, or as both a POC and a half white male in this society.
I think his lawyer just said, look, they already know what the answer is going to be, Zach, so...
He's just looking at me. Yeah.
Don't answer that. You just give it the stereotype. You can't let him win. No, I don't know. I mean, obviously, no.
Yeah, I mean that's the underlying answer is absolutely not.
It's obviously no, but let's entertain the idea. What if?
I mean, what if?
What is it about the mask that's making him have these robberish impulses?
It's because they didn't know who he was until he put the mask on.
Well, that should
But
be
see,
the
now
opposite.
they know. Yeah, now they know who he is.
Then don't do it. Abort mission, man. But
Yeah.
how easy really is it to shoplift out of a store normally? I mean, I guess it depends on how busy it is.
Normally,
whether or not people are paying attention. But now that everyone's wearing masks and everyone's keeping their distance from each other, wouldn't it be easier to go, hey, I don't think that dude went past the checkout line with his goods, or I don't know.
right? It's just they try to arrest you. Just tell them that it's social distancing and they can't touch you, and those handcuffs haven't been sanitized yet.
I think you got to take into account that most people probably won't do anything, even if they think they saw something. And then
it's
on
funny.
top of that, you have to if you act confident, then they're more likely to think that you know what you're doing, and that
now
you're
that
supposed to
you-
be doing that.
You bring that up. I've noticed there was a meme before, but I've actually noticed it kind of in real life that cops are more reluctant to pull people over just because of the coronavirus. I don't know if it's still going now, but there was a time, even when I was driving down the freeway a couple weeks ago, I noticed a dude illegally change into the HOV lane and start gunning it down the street, and there was a cop right in front of me, which is why everyone was going slow, which is why the dude wanted to
Right.
get around us. And it's just do I wave at the dude, wave him down there's a fucking cop in front of us? What do I do? No, I'm just let him zoom on past. The cop gets up right behind him, does his lights and everything, and pulls him over to the side, but then just leaves him there and just drives on. He doesn't stop.
Dude, that kind
faggot.
that kind of happened to me. I was speeding through the construction zone like last year when we were like Cam and you would play D&D with Larson. And I was speeding through the construction zone, and the cop pulled up and he's like, boop, boop, boop. And I was like, shit. And I slowed down, and he just like kept driving. I was like, oh, you prick. Like,
I mean, it's hard to pull people over in the construction zone, and if he really wanted to make his quota, he probably would have followed you outside of it. But yeah, I've seen that. And also, like, as a kid, I remember my mom speeding, and she was doing what women sometimes do by, putting makeup on in the car, and she didn't notice how fast she was going. He slows her down, basically, to the speed limit, and then just passes on. So sometimes there's, like, good guy cop moments like that, just like, hey, pay attention. But other times, they're out to get their ticket.
oh, bro, I'm afraid after this whole thing's over, they're going to be gunning for people for anything because
Yeah, and then you make their quota.
they're going to need the quota, yeah.
Dude, okay, so
The idea of a quota is fucking retarded, by the way. Just thought I'd put that out there.
Well, listen up, Dre. I got something to say. Fuck the police.
if it's I mean, it kind of makes sense in a way, but it's also bullshit.
No, it doesn't make sense in any way. The idea of the police
It's to serve and protect.
having a quota of crime that you have
Well,
to stop.
See,
is
the
counterintuitive to
idea is
job.
that the idea is the crime is out there. You just need to catch it, and they have a quota there just to make sure you're diligent and catch it.
Yeah, well, I think the quota is based on how much crime is happening. Is kind of what it is.
Maybe.
And so
Who
they're
knows?
but at the same
we
time,
do know that certain
causes them
police
to make it
agencies
up.
make the city a lot of money.
Yeah,
so.
they make more money the more tickets they do.
they also get to like reclassify things, and it can be really corrupt.
Which,
as far as, like, the back end.
so what pissed me off is like for a long time I didn't have my license plate in the back of my, like in the back. Like I had it in my window, but it wasn't like bolted to like my
Right.
bumper, which isn't illegal, I found out. But I got pulled over 3 times in like a week and a half span because they're like, oh, your license plate wasn't there. And I'm like, you can see it in my window. You can see it. And so one guy pulled me over. And, like, I was doing, like, the most non-gangster thing. I was going to Game Grid, which is, like, a card and game shop, to buy paint, to paint miniatures, because I'm a fucking nerd. And he pulls me over, and he's like, I can't see your license plate. I'm like, oh, it's right there in the window. And he's like, I'm like, so, like, what's the problem? And he goes, oh, well, I was just making sure this car wasn't stolen. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know 1991 Camry LEs were the fucking hot ticket item.
I think I might have been pulled over once because of that, and he's like, yeah, I just couldn't see the license plate. And so that's part of the thing. You can put it up, but if they can't see it through the window...
He can see it! I have no tint! It was bullshit. It was fucking
Get your
bullshit.
fucking pinatas and your sombreros out of the fucking window.
Bro.
And they can see your fucking
Bro,
license
it's
plate.
like, honestly, like, I'm tinted. my eyes towards cops are tinted in a very negative light because I also, when I was like 4 months off my LDS mission, which doesn't make me a good person, but I had a temple recommend, that's all I'm saying, is I was cashing a check at Zion's Bank and I was walking to the mall because I had to go to my second job, and this guy comes out and he's all, hey, do you got some black on you? And I was like, I don't have any heroin, bro. Like, sorry, I gotta go to work. And so I kept walking, and then he's like, hey, and I turned around, I'm like, what do you want? And he goes, no, man, like, dude, I know you're my dealer. I know you're the guy I'm supposed to meet here. Can you just, like, hook me up? I need my fix. And I was like, dude, I gotta go to work. I don't do drugs. I don't have drugs. I don't sell drugs. Fuck off. I gotta go. And so then I start walking away, and I hear this, sir, turn around now. And I turned around. I'm like, what the fuck do you want? And this dude had a badge. And I was like, oh, are you fucking, like, I was like, what's going on? And he's like, you look like a known drug dealer in the area. And I'm like, oh, I look Mexican? Is that what you're saying? Like, I don't understand what you're implying. And so they went through and, like, searched my shit, and, like, now I'm like, I could have told them no because they didn't have a warrant, but they just, like, were going through my stuff, and he, like, goes, let me see your wallet. And I was like, do you want me to take my pants off too, my shirt? I'm like, I have garments underneath. I don't know if you can, like, see them. And he's like, no, we didn't see the wallet. And I'm like, watch out for the temple recommend right there. And he just, like, rolled his eyes and kept going through my stuff, and I'm like, dude, he could totally he, like, didn't make me, like, take my shoes off or anything. I'm like, oh, I totally could have hid drugs in my shoes. Like, he's like, we know what we're looking for. And I'm like, dude, fuck off. So, like, ever since then, like, I've had a very, like, negative light towards officers because that pissed me off.
Yeah.
I've never had to be detained like that in my life.
Well,
So,
your
there's a thing like
your
that.
skin color is
No.
great.
I'm just bringing in. Oh, that's a little too white, in my opinion. But yeah, it's just even here, it's just you people get profiled.
It's one of those things, man, and it
sucks.
sucks.
So many times I got pulled over in my '96 Honda Civic, and just let off with a warning every time. And then when I was driving my Impala and then other newer cars, not even once.
To be fair, I've never gotten a ticket. I've been pulled over a few times, but I've never gotten a ticket. I've always gotten like, oh, well, your license plate wasn't in there. Or like one of them pulled me over because I don't respect paying the government money they shouldn't deserve. So I didn't get my car registered for 9 months and I got pulled over. And he's like, if you get it taken care of, like I was super chill with him because he was the sheriff, and he's like, all right, man. He goes, here's the deal. He goes, because I know you're like going from work. He's like, if you go get this registered, he's like, you can take this in and they'll waive the fee on it. And he goes, and you'll be good. And I said, really? He's like, yeah, you got a week. And I was like, okay.
I didn't register my Impala once for like 5 months, and nothing happened. Not even once.
Dude, that whole 9 months, it's the one time I got pulled over because like after 3 months, it just becomes a game to see how long you can go without it.
The games we play, the risks we take.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not going to incriminate myself, so I'm not going to say anything else, but yeah, it was pretty great.
Yeah. Well, wait. So you do commit crimes, then it sounds like. So I mean,
it's not a crime. The government doesn't deserve my money.
But he hasn't committed theft.
Yeah, I haven't committed theft. I just drove without a registered car, which is bullshit.
You haven't shoplifted groceries out of a store while wearing a mask?
I've never actually stolen anything in my life.
what?
Yeah, I don't steal, dude. It pisses me off.
How about you, Schweiss?
I thought that was part of like the upbringing.
Have you
It's like a rite of passage.
a grocery store?
Yeah, I've
with,
stolen stuff before. There was one time where I ate a sandwich while I was walking around Walmart, and I was like, I don't really feel like paying for this, and then I threw the little wrapper away.
I don't feel like paying. This is shit. Mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Was it one of their fucking giant sandwiches? What the fuck were you eating?
Yeah, it was.
Slamming it down.
That was the last time I stole something. That was a long time ago. But I still feel bad about doing it. But I'm not bad enough to like pay for an extra sandwich ever. But yeah, I do. I mean,
even now though, it's just like I don't know what kind of mask you're wearing, but they can still see most of your face. It's still like, like if they catch you taking something, it's not like the mask will make it. Oh, I don't know who he is because they'll find out. But
I wonder where
I
the
don't think it'd be so easy as you think to just walk out with a whole grocery cart. Maybe like a few items at the self checkout line you can get away with, but
yeah, that's when I've stolen batteries from Walmart too when I was like 15. And that's what I would do. I would like just toss them in there with it, and then like put my shit on top of it. It's pretty easy, but I don't know. I'm just like people that do that are just scum. So I've definitely changed.
Right, but you see, to me though, if someone's stealing, like we've talked about this before on the show, if someone's to the point where they're stealing food, it's just let them have the food, and if I notice it and if it's being noticed, I'll just offer to pay for it so they can get out.
I think that goes
food, man.
That goes back to when we talked about the gas station thing. Sometimes it's easier to be like, dude, like I can pay for it so it doesn't come out. It's like for me, it kind of comes to like when it's like at the bar too.
There's a difference though. I guess at the gas station, they're stealing like candy bars and stuff, and it depends on their age. Candy's not food, and if you're stealing gas station stuff, if it's like you can tell they need the food versus they're just kids stealing just because they can. But if it's like someone going through Walmart and stealing eggs or bread, it's just like they probably really need the fucking food.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you should still help them. I don't think people should just get away with doing stuff like that. And then most of the time when I've ever seen it, it's been they buy a little bit and they steal something, kind of like what I did, so that it's not as suspicious. And that tells me that they can afford it. They just don't feel like paying for it, which I feel like they should feel like paying for it because that's bullshit. And if we're going to live in a society that's not, Big Brother fucking shut down everything, everything's being controlled kind of a way, then we all need to follow the fucking rules.
But
as
if you
such.
were to steal like a cart full of groceries, like how would you do it though?
I don't know.
Because just walking past the checkout line, I just feel like there's a bigger chance of you being stopped unless you had an accomplice who creates a scene at the same time. But then again, it's still just fucking food. Like, why spend that much effort on it?
No, agreed. And the thing is, like, at least the Walmart, like my local Walmart, is they have someone watching the self checkouts, and then there's people, stationed at whatever line's open, and the rest of them are blocked off. So I mean, you'd have to, and you can't go like through the regular entrance anymore because that's been like blocked off with like only one way, like those little metal doors. And so it's just more hassle than it's worth than like the $10 for your bread and eggs or whatever. Like, it was it's just not worth it.
Well, yeah.
What's
One
the-
thing from all this, though, that I hope lasts is when people get sick, it's now in fashion in America to wear a mask when you're sick, like it is in other parts of the world. But then also, now that we've gone through this, I think we might be more prepared when a deadlier virus, decides to come about.
Yeah. What's the worst thing you guys have had to do because of the coronavirus? Like,
Go to work
like
every day.
The biggest inconvenience.
The biggest inconvenience, honestly, the biggest inconvenience was for a minute there, work reduced the hours that we were working. But it wasn't really that big of an inconvenience. Really, it's just being home all day, every day, and staying inside.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
I'm gonna echo that. I feel like that's the same thing because I mean I'm still going into my job every day, so like nothing's really changed there. But it's like not being able to like recharge my batteries the way like I usually do it. So, yeah, for me it's being stuck inside.
And then recording the podcast like this is a super big inconvenience.
Yeah,
let me
this
tell you.
this kind of sucks. Like I'm excited when we get to like actually go in and like talk to each other and be face to face again.
Yeah, I hate doing it this way. Personally, I feel like it'd be. I don't know. I'd be more inclined to go back to weekly, even if we were in person. But I kind of like the every couple weeks thing too.
I do too, because it gives us more time.
Yeah.
Saves an episode for us. And so it's just like beforehand when we would have to move a day because of this or that, doing it every other week makes it so now we can plan our lives a little bit more around the show and vice versa.
Yeah. So that I think it'll stay. Okay, so my biggest inconvenience, we went up to get pickup at Buka in Salt Lake City. Because I was like, I want to support all the businesses that I normally support. I just we can't go sit down, so we have to do takeout, which it sucks because takeout, like, for some reason they feel that they could charge just as much for way less. I've noticed
They can just
every
get away
time.
with it more, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it was still really good, obviously, because it's great Italian food, but still.
No,
I guess
agree.
higher end restaurants can do that, but ordering from low end stuff like Beto's, they still give you basically what a Beto's thing
That's
is. And
because
they already kinda
Beto's-
cost so much
man.
beforehand that there's no need.
Bro, Beto's is
Yeah.
a godsend. I don't care what anyone says.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
I love Beto's.
the best cheap Mexican food in
Bro, there's nothing better than like after a night out drinking, going to a Beto's and like getting the chili verde smothered burrito and just sitting there at the thing and just dying internally because you're drunk and then just eating that damn burrito.
Yeah,
Oh, it's so good.
the drunk Beto's runs were good.
Oh man.
Okay, so anyway, we're on the way back, and like going up, I was tired. It was my day off, and it took forever too. But I was like down in a bunch of Diet Coke, and fucking, we get up there, and I'm like, I kind of have to pee, but like, there's nowhere to pee because everyone's like, no, we don't have any bathrooms. Like everything's like super locked down, and we're heading back down on the freeway, and I'm like, Alex, I gotta fucking piss. Like, I gotta piss bad. She's like, well, you're going to have to hold it. And I'm like, I know, because I don't know, like, I'm not going to pull off and go into a fucking gas station like hunched over because I got to piss so fucking bad, and then be turned around. Like if that happens, like I'm gonna have to piss.
The gas stations were open.
Gas station bathrooms are open. Yeah.
I've seen ones that weren't. I know Maverick is.
Really? None of the ones around, at least around where like Linden area and Orem PG aren't. I've used them.
Well, fuck, maybe I didn't need to do this, but dude, I fucking pulled over on the freeway and I like opened up the fucking side doors and I just took a piss like there. I was like, I have to piss so fucking bad right now, and I was like, what the fuck?
And it's not like it's not like this is like a fucking country road where you're just peeing off the side. You're peeing on the fucking freeway.
Yeah, and the worst part is I'm like leaning on the car, so I opened up the back door so no one could see anything from behind, and the front door so no one could see anything in front, and I'm just standing there like with my dick in my hands, and I'm like, dude, I can't pee. Like it was so hard to like just zone out to the point where I could take a piss.
Got pee shy.
Yeah.
Pee shy on the side of the freeway. Nice.
Yeah, and it's like cold and windy, so I'm like, fuck, man, I hope no one sees my tiny dick right now. Trying to take a piss. And like I was just thinking, I was like, dude, I don't know if bathrooms, like I don't know what's going on with that, so like I'm not gonna, if I pull off on an exit and I can't pee in a bathroom, like I'm just gonna go outside and pee. Like this is gonna happen. So I just fucking pulled over and I just fucking emptied my bladder and I just drove off. And I felt like such a piece of shit for doing it. I was like, God, what trash.
Wonder what Alex was saying to you the whole time.
She was laughing about it.
Dude,
Nice.
Thought it was funny.
but you got to learn that lesson from Jurassic Park, man. When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, when nature calls, I answer. But I don't know. That was the worst thing that's happened so far. And then it's just annoying because, like, I was like trying to play Resident Evil 3, and I went to Home Depot to get a one of those like special screw things or to unlock the PlayStation.
Oh, one of those
And-
keys.
Yeah. And there was a line to get into the building, and
Dude.
it took me like 40 minutes to get in. And
I
was like,
found-
this is so fucking dumb.
I found mine at Walmart, dude.
Yeah.
I had the little kit, but you
Oh,
could have asked
I
me, and
had
I
that.
would have just let you borrow mine.
Wait in line to get into Home Depot too. It wasn't bad, but it was definitely an inconvenience.
Yeah, one thing this is teaching me is that like patience is awesome, and I'm not super impatient, but I don't really have very much time, especially right now. So it's annoying whenever it happens because I mean I worked. So 3 weeks ago, I worked I think 59 hours. The week after that, I worked 60, and then last week I worked 61 and a half hours. So like. My time is so fucking limited that I hate the idea that I have to wait so long for everything. But yesterday,
Yeah,
I
that
went
makes
to In-N-Out,
sense.
and I was like, I was watching people in the line for Burlington Coat Factory, and I was like, hey, I'm going to mark that person. And then like 15, 20 minutes later, when I got out of the In-N-Out line, they were still like 20 minutes away from getting in. I
Ah,
was
damn
like,
it!
dude.
I've been wanting to go to Burlington because I want some like hoodies, like the light hoodies. Damn it!
Yeah.
I don't want to wait in line.
It's hard, yeah. And I'm like, this is going to, I mean, at the very least, everyone's going to be more patient when this is all over because, like, we just have to wait for things now. And Amazon's making us wait. They're getting better.
Fucking
now.
Bezos, bro. If I order something, give me my shit.
Another side effect that we're starting to see is increased prices on things, especially groceries right now. Things like eggs, chicken, and beef are going up.
Yeah, the beef, they had shortages for a little bit.
Yeah,
there.
there's still shortages on it for some places.
Because people aren't working because they're shutting down the factories. It's like, of course, we're going to have shortages when major parts of the country.
Well, you'd think
are
that
shutting
like
down.
the food stuff on that aspect would be part of infrastructure. I don't know how it's not.
I don't know. It's all just stupid. I mean, to claim essential, status for almost anything is just it just doesn't mean anything. I mean, there are things that we need to survive, but like technically, a job is essential based on a market need for that job.
That
which is
sounds
the
like a
whole
very
entire
unessential
point.
thing to say.
It's the whole entire point of having a marketplace system is...
Listen,
what is
just because I'm
essential is
better
what
than
is
everyone
deemed
else
essential.
doesn't mean you need to throw my essentialness through the mud, Schweiss.
I mean, there's a point where a job is essential to the person who holds it, but does that job, I don't know, is it essential to the rest of the country type of thing?
Yeah, and I understand that. But in a lot of arguments, it is essential to the rest of the country because they pay taxes for it. And so it's really just a stupid way to say these are jobs that we absolutely need to continue life as we know it, for the most part. Which I get, and I understand the idea of essential workers, but I don't know, like gas stations, you could honestly just have one person monitoring the pumps and close the convenience store part. The fact that that's not closed is
I would agree with
I
that.
don't take it seriously. It's not. How can I take this thing seriously when I can still go into Maverick 24 hours a day? Now they opened all night again. It's like, where's the concern? Like, there doesn't seem to be any sort of cohesive guideline as to what it means to be essential. Like, I don't need... I mean, I do need the caffeine because I'm fucking not getting any sleep because I actually have an essential job, apparently, and it's endless lately because of everyone ordering everything online. But, like, I don't know. I feel like if we're going to claim that, we need to shut down business because people are getting sick from going out, then why the fuck is Walmart still open? Yeah, Walmart has a lot of good things that we need, but they've always had that. So why the fuck is that allowed to be opened up, but people are closing down like their little mom and pop shops? It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, there was
It's
a point that
fucking stupid.
Walmart was only allowing people to buy essential goods.
Only in some
Yeah,
areas.
that's
Our area
bullshit,
wasn't
too.
one
That's
of them.
That's fucking bullshit. You shouldn't be prevented from buying something because someone else decided that, oh no, we can only buy essential goods right now. Not what's actually on
my
the
big
shelves.
argument with that too was they're like, well, you can only buy groceries and like that's about it. And it's like, well, they said like they on that list, clothes was a non-essential, and then it goes into like video games and craft stuff and like the draw art stuff and the books and stuff like that. And it's like, well, we're stuck at home. What the fuck do you want us to do? That's pretty fucking essential when we can't leave the house.
Yeah, that's fucking bullshit when people are deciding what you can and can't buy in a
Right.
store. It's like, let the store decide what they want to sell me. Don't,
No, agreed.
Don't fucking tell me that I'm allowed to go in here, but, you can't buy clothes because they're not essential. It's like, really? You want me to walk around fucking naked? Because I don't think you want to see that. So maybe you should let me buy
that's how
some
you get out
fucking
of the grocery
pants.
store without paying for groceries.
You just
Yeah.
wiggle. We do a helicopter.
Just a mask
while you're
and naked.
while you're pushing the car, you just helicopter dick the entire time, and you just keep walking.
Yeah.
At that point, you just fly away.
Yeah. But like seriously, I don't understand it. It's like the more I think about it, the less sense it makes to really shut down most of what we shut down. Like I get the whole flattening the curve thing, but I don't know. It just seems so fucked up. Like everything is fucked up. Because we didn't know about it until way too late to actually stop anything by shutting it down because China is a fucking garbage government and all they do is fucking lie. And we didn't know what to expect, so like the idea of complete shutdown was dead in the water before we even knew that something was happening. But yeah, we tried to do like a quasi shutdown anyway, and it's I don't know, it's fucking stupid. Like that really.
Well, I
bugs
mean,
me
the
that they
point of the
wouldn't let you
shutdown
buy
was
things.
to make sure the hospitals weren't going to be as crowded as they had predicted. But no, I agree with the whole shouldn't tell me what I'm going to buy, especially when you want the economy to like keep going. Right now, when no one's buying shit, it's their fault. It all bounces back to them.
Another side effect of this, though, is in America, hospitals make a lot of money off of elective, procedures and stuff like that, and certain hospitals have had to cut staff because of the shutdown.
Right.
So hospitals will still be in a worse spot coming out of this than they were going into it. And I don't know. It's like, yes, it makes sense to flatten the curve, but it's hurting a lot of things at the same time.
No,
Yeah.
it's true.
Honestly, people like us should probably get this fucking thing and get it over with because
Well, here's
we're 2 years out from like a vaccine potentially, and we can't shut down for 2 fucking years. And the idea that we're going to kill it by, if everyone would have just stayed inside for 2 months, it's like, well, we can't do that either because some people have, like, life-saving medications that they have to get. Like, where are those going to be manufactured? Where are those going to be shipped? Who's going to deliver them to those people? Like, are those people just going to die? Because that's a lot more people than would have died from this virus or have died from this virus who would die without having their medication. So it's like there is no such thing as a complete shutdown in any time-sensitive manner. And by the time we thought to even ban travel, we already fucking had cases of it. Well, because they fucking lied about it.
With it as well, I mean, it's kind of coming to light that this has been here since at least November.
Yeah.
Because there's people that were just sick. Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is, like...
So of course it was here. It doesn't just fucking pop up 4 months later.
Right. Well, no, like, the thing is, like, they think a lot of people did have it already because there's people with the exact symptoms. And I mean, like, I have family members that had that same thing. And then a coworker, like, a couple coworkers might have had the same thing back in, was it in February? And so it's like, oh, hey, like, I was probably, like, and I'm not going to, like, not take precautions, but it's like, I was probably already, like, I carried it for a little bit because it was a double dose. Like,
yeah, it's like, I'm not going to be stupid. But, like, I think a lot of this is a little bit ridiculous. And it's like, well, if we would have all just agreed to not do anything for a month. It's like, well, yeah, but it was already fucking here. So all that means is the people that are sick that can't go outside just fucking die because they can't go get the help they need. It's like, the idea of that is so fucking narrow-minded and stupid. And it's only coming from people that have no health problems.
It was already here. And then I guess the idea was everyone quarantines, and so those who have it don't pass it on, and it gets it off before a majority of people get it type of idea. I mean, it was already here. You can't control that, but then we can control how far it spreads.
But you really can't, though, is the thing. Like, you can try.
Get in contact with people.
Right, but you have to have contact with people. Some people, somewhat. You have to get, like, if I have a... if I have a condition and I have to get medication for it, even if it gets mailed to me, someone has to fucking deliver that. Like, all it takes is one person that's sick, quarantined, that has a fucking has a prescription, getting the mailman sick, and then he gets everyone in his office sick. It's gonna spread. It's a fucking virus. It's built to fucking spread.
That's why the non-essentials all had to go home, so there's less places for it to transfer.
Right,
yes,
but they can
will
still go to fucking Walmart. It's like... fucking make up your mind, like, make up your mind. Are we fucking closed or are we not? Like,
you know what the worst part about the non-essentials coming back is how many fucking people are on the road right now.
Yeah, true. That was nice for like a few weeks. I don't know, it's just so fucking dumb. It's all so annoying. And like it's I don't know, the idea that we could have stopped it is just impossible. It's just impossible.
No,
we might have been able to reduce it.
Well, and again, that's not what it was for. It was to slow it. It wasn't to stop it. But that's the problem is most fucking people are stupid, and they're like, oh, well, if we stay in, it's going to be gone. That wasn't the fucking point. The point was to slow it down so the hospitals had enough time to react and enough beds for people who got it. It wasn't ever going to stop it. But we have people who are like, oh, my dog, no, I'm going to do this because it's all done now. No, they're fucking idiots. They didn't understand what was happening.
What I really hate, though, right now is these people who are so pro keep it closed. Is they're getting so mad at people wanting to go back to work and people wanting to start making money again. It's like, oh, I'm going to threaten people's lives for the economy. It's like there comes a point where the fallout from this can be a lot worse for a lot of people because we don't have our economy's in a crash. We've already seen somewhat of crash, but I think it's being propped up, and it's going to crash even worse in a few months.
It's being propped up. The thing is we're propping up all these small businesses with these big loans, and it's like there's no evidence that these businesses are going to be able to survive afterwards. So we're basically just throwing our money in the garbage. Because, like, you really think a company that does...
I think this shows, we were ill prepared for something like this, and we can prepare better for something like this in the future.
I mean, we were prepared, and then some fucking asshole
there comes a
cut
point
funding to
where,
everything.
Yeah. the CDC cuts and whatnot.
Well, that and then
fuck
taking away our task force for that shit. That's bullshit. We had a plan, and then it was gone.
See, that's not true. The task force thing isn't true. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
No, they merged into a different thing. There was a New York Times article about how that wasn't true.
Okay.
That's how untrue it is. Even the liberals don't think it's true.
Uh-huh.
The internet thinks it's true, but the internet is full of retards.
It's just.
I mean, clearly.
Unless we want to see even worse fallout from this, like, we need money to be generated again.
Yeah, well,
see,
and that's what I was arguing with Joe the other day about this, and he
saw that.
He was getting mad about the fact that I was saying that, we need to start opening things up or else this is going to fail. And he's like, and it's like, technically we will survive if we all lose our jobs.
As long as we know how to love, I know we will survive.
Yeah, but like that's all. First of all, that's bullshit, and second of all, it's like, part of the thing about the small businesses and all these businesses that are closing is like people work their whole lives to make some of these things happen, and now they're being destroyed. That is a reason to live. All right, so like that, the economy is in a way people's lives.
No, agreed. I mean, I read
the things that you put your whole life, all your time, all your dedication, all your hard work into this thing, and then you're basically told, well, you're a selfish prick because you want to keep that thing going. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, this is something I've worked towards.
Right.
And it's hilarious because it always comes from people who have never fucking done anything like that.
Well, like, I read an article.
It's so easy to fucking say, like, oh, well, you're just being selfish. It's like, well, you've done nothing. All you do is work for other people. Like, fuck off, Like, I don't want to hear it from you.
No, and like,
it's like getting financial advice from fucking, I don't know, like the guy who ripped off Queen. What's his name? Fucking Vanilla Ice. It's like getting financial advice from Vanilla Ice. It's like, sorry, I just don't want to hear it.
Well, I mean, like, and that's something that, like, I've seen personally, like, with where I work, is there's tons of companies that are going under, whether they be construction, personal trucking, or whatever. Like, there's ones that are like, we're not going to survive this, and that's bullshit, especially when you work your whole life for it. And I did read an article about a dude back east who had his own, like, he loved music, and him and his wife started a music company where they, like, sold instruments, but they, like, taught lessons as well to, like, kids to, like, they could learn how to do it. And they just had to close their doors, and he's like, I don't know if I'm ever going to reopen. This was my dream. This was like, my only income, and they're fucking people over because they're staying closed too long. The government doesn't give a shit. That's like the bottom line is they don't fucking care. They don't care if your business goes under.
Well, even if they did, they can't stop it because they're fucking.
I mean,
dumb.
The government should care a little bit because small businesses and everything like that, they're all still tied to the economy.
Bro, they only care about themselves, dude. Like, come on. We know the truth.
0.9% of corporations are small businesses with less than 50 employees.
Right, but how much of that 99% accounts for most of the money generated, though?
Probably a fair amount.
The more small businesses close, the more the large businesses who have the capital to weather this out are getting that business.
Exactly,
so.
And then the same people that are like calling the small businesses selfish are calling the big businesses greedy, and it's like, make up your fucking mind, man. What do you think? We just can't get by without food and like our shit? Like what? Like people getting mad that Jeff Bezos is almost a trillionaire or something like that lately. I'm like, man, every one of the people on Twitter that I saw, all I could see was Karl Marx's stupid fucking face. Like every time I read one of their little comments, I'm like, God, you people are such scum. It's like you're just such a piece of shit, man. You're just jealous that you've never done anything worthwhile in your shitty little life, and all you want to do is tear down people who have, because you're a piece of fucking shit. Plus, it's not like the guy has $1 trillion in the bank. Like if you just realize that it's in, stock and in like it's fucking. It's your wealth. It's not your actual money. Like I know this is hard to understand, but like if you're worth $50 million, that doesn't mean you have $50 million. That means if you were to get rid of every single thing you've ever done or had, you would then have $50 million. It's like the guy doesn't have a fucking $1 trillion. He just has a shitload of Amazon stock, and he's not going to sell it because if he sold it, the stock would plummet and the fucking business would suffer potentially all the way.
I mean, that's a part of this, too. A lot of times when things like this drop, companies will buy up their own stock to increase the price.
Yeah. God, I hate poor people, man. I hate poor, lazy people. I'm just going to fucking say it. I hate them. Fucking trash.
You need to move. You guess you need to move to the utopia I made in SimCity, Schweiz.
Yeah. It's like, God, I just hate stupid, poor, lazy people. Like, it's, God damn it. And I'm like, I was poor as fuck growing up, too. And, like, I don't want to be that way. So I'm trying not to be a piece of shit, but, like, everyone around me, I swear to God, like, online, it's just like, I don't. It's amazing. It's like we have to close down, but these big businesses are getting way too big. It's like, well, fuck. Then stop eating. Like, stop buying things. Like, I don't know what to fucking tell these people. Like, it's gonna go. The money has to go somewhere.
And I don't know. The government's toying with the idea of sending out another stimulus check to these people who no longer have work, which is good. They need the money. But I also want there to be more incentive for small and medium businesses to start hiring again as soon as they can. And I think some of that money should go to them so people can get jobs back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do have small business loans.
Yeah, the PPP loans that was scalped by the larger corporations first.
Dude,
Yeah.
people
Gotten it, they still received it anyway. But I feel like, yes, people need money to get by, but there needs to be a way for people to start going back to work as fast as possible, which is, in my opinion, is really the only way we're going to avoid something bigger in the future.
Yeah, and it's also important to realize that a lot of, like I was saying earlier, a lot of these small businesses that were propping up and spending millions and millions and, you know, even billions of dollars on, they're probably not going to exist when this thing is over. This is going to change the face of our economy for a long time because people, like, yeah, they opened up Orem, but am I going to go to Nickel City? Fuck no. Like, I don't wear a mask, and I'm not going to fucking.
But
I'm not going to do that.
Would you be going to Nickel City anyway?
Yeah, I would. We went like 4 or 5 times in the last year before this happened. But I'm not worried, but I'm also not stupid about it. I'm not going to go out and fucking
pussy
do things like that.
But see,
So,
that's just the virus itself, and not the close down that's affecting your
right.
decision
But
in that
that's what I'm
factor.
saying is, so businesses like that getting billions in loans to stay afloat. When they stop getting those loans, they're dead because people aren't going to be going to those places. The economy's going to change.
A very good example of that is what's happening to movie theaters too.
Yeah,
AMC already filed for bankruptcy. So.
Yeah, but AMC fucking sucks.
But that's just
Ours
going
does,
to show
yeah.
that theaters were already struggling before this happened.
Yeah,
So
potentially, but at the same time, who's going to go into a packed movie theater after that?
So the moral of the
Not nearly as many
story,
people.
the moral of the story is go ahead and steal your groceries because the government and big businesses are stealing money anyway.
Yeah, steal it because fuck Walmart. Yeah, no.
Stick it to the man.
Yeah. Seriously, though, it's like, God, fucking Christ. I don't know. These fucking people, they're just, they're insatiable with their complaints and their outrage.
Yeah, it's true. But
And their low credit scores.
the low credit score.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I hate to be a dick, but that's like, honestly, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just useless people who are, I mean, they're not necessarily useless, but like they haven't contributed anything to the thing that they're complaining about. It's like, just fuck off, man. Just go fuck yourself.
so no, I don't think you're a bad person for like thinking that because I thought the same thing. But like I just think it's funny, like having the masks on and just looking like you're all
Yeah.
robbers.
Yeah, I was like, I've thought about that too. Like when I walked into Maverick, I'm like, what if I just pretended to hold them up? Like they know me because they spend way too much money in there, but I just like put the money.
So
in the fucking
thinking
bag.
thinking a thought doesn't make you a bad person. Acting on the thought does. Because like
Yeah,
if I thought on if I acted on every thought I had while I was driving, I would be a serial killer, and I would be in jail. Like.
I mean, yeah, every time I put on the mask, I want to blow up Gotham Stadium.
Yeah, haven't done it yet. That's true. Yeah, that is the you know, the basis of it all. You can think a lot of things, but it's only until you do it that you're a bad person.
It's true. I mean, but don't tell people you were thinking about it because that's premeditated. So I'm sorry you're on record on this podcast saying that. So
Yeah,
just
that
don't
makes
do
way
it.
worse.
That's a double whammy, bro.
I don't know. Just thinking about the shutdown, it's just like an economy is such a complicated system that there's always going to be a problem thrown at it that it's not going to quite handle. And, complicated systems will eventually hiccup. And we saw a little bit of that in 2008, and I feel like we're going to see a little bit more of that here soon in the future, depending on how things go. So I think the coronavirus might just be accelerating something that might have happened before. So,
yeah, maybe. Although it's hard to say that because the Fed keeps dropping the prices of like loans and the interest rates and things like that.
Interest rates, yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
Don't
because,
worry, Fed. You could still go negative.
Yeah, the problem is that it wasn't a bad economy on the underlying, under the surface, because
it still wasn't recovered pre-2008 though, not quite.
No, we're way above 2008. We were above even where it was before the crash.
I'll have to look into certain stocks, yeah, but I'll have to look into that more. But there's still an underlying problem with the amount of debt and the amount of debt that we're going to be in after this.
Yeah, it's not quite to the same level as then, though. The problem with that is, people were getting loans that they truly couldn't pay for, and it was just a shit show, and then everything collapsed.
Different reasons, but there's.
But if that were to be fixed, if that were the problem now, the interest rate being lowered would fix it, but it hasn't, because that wasn't the problem. It wasn't that we had too much debt. It's that we fucking closed everything down. Yeah. But the debt it's a lot of debt, though. We have a lot of debt, to be sure.
It's only
and we
accelerating right now.
Oh, it's getting crazy right now. Even personal debt's probably going through the roof, all of it.
People using credit cards for stuff because they don't have the income. Yeah,
and that's a good safety net, but that net's gonna get a hole in it real fast when you can never get out from under it.
You need to pay it off somehow. And if you
exactly. Yeah. How do you do that? It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me, money-wise, but it's the worst thing that's ever happened to the whole. So,
but even though you are still making money at just as fast, or maybe faster than you would before, if we keep printing money out, it's just the value of that money is still going down. The buying power is going down.
Yeah, and then passing out all these loans and the government, shitting money out every 5 seconds, that does hurt. And that has long-term effects. That has really long-term effects on the overall well-being of the economy and the value of the currency and everything. So it's going to be a while before we recover from this thing.
Yeah, I just don't think there was a good solution to this problem at all, and that's just more of of us not being prepared for something like this.
On a scale from 1 to pissed, how mad would you guys be if I wasn't recording?
Jesus.
I'm just kidding. I'm recording. I just wanted to drop the hearts for a second.
I would be sad. I would just be sad. No, I think there's a good. I think the problem with our economy is that we're too reliant on China. I think that's the biggest thing.
A huge thing that's coming from this is a lot of our production's leaving China and going to India too. There are plans on it.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff is coming back here. There was they manufacture computer parts or microchips or something from Taiwan, and they moved here because they didn't want to fucking do business in China anymore. So I think this is going to really help the whole bringing jobs back to America thing. It's that's looking a lot better when other places are run like fucking absolute trash, and whenever a scare happens or a virus outbreaks, they try to cover it up for 8 months, and then you have the fucking World Health Organization cover it up for them too, because they're fucking cheap bastards who just fucking sing to the tune of whoever's paying them the most.
Bunch of fucks.
Yeah. So when they said they were cutting their funding, I was like, good, fuck those assholes. In fucking February, they were saying it can't be transmitted human to human. I was like, how the fuck is there an outbreak if it can't be transmitted human to human? Who the fuck? How many fucking people are eating bats in this country? What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Yeah. And then it's
this is bat country.
Yeah, just kidding.
He who makes a beast out of himself.
Yeah. It's oh, wait. And then, see, that's the thing. It's it was already too late to stop it because no one was telling the truth in the beginning.
It was too late to apologize.
Yeah.
It was too late.
It's just so bad. Yeah, and I hope we pull out of that fucking place.
Well,
if they're gonna fucking lie, it's like I don't know how else to put it. Like, if you're not gonna be honest in your dealings, then you can go fuck off. Like, we shouldn't be doing that much business there if we're gonna have these fucking outbreaks every like 8 or 9 years. Like, this is the third one of my fucking lifetime coming out of this place. Like, fuck these people. Like, fuck their trash fucking government. Like, it's obviously I don't hate the Chinese people. It's just the way their government runs. Like, it's how many fucking times are we gonna have to deal with this bullshit coming out of China? It's already been too many. Like, we've already lost too many lives to their fucking bullshit cover-ups. And I'm glad that I'm seeing businesses pull out, because if you're not going to be responsible, then you don't get the fucking work. It sucks that the people are going to suffer for it, but the whole world shouldn't suffer because of one garbage regime. And it already has. Like, how many people have died because of this fucking thing? And how many of those could have been prevented if they would have just not been trash and told the truth? I don't know. It's fucking annoying. It's annoying, man. And I'm sick of working so many fucking hours, but I can't say no.
I mean, you could.
I gotta.
That's not how jobs work.
I mean, he could say no, but then he wouldn't have all that extra money that's rolling in.
True, yeah. And you if you work 10% more, I think you make like 30% more overtime. Because you get because of promotions and OT and stuff like that. So I live by that, even though it's killing me.
Live by the code, die by the code.
That's right.
There will be a point, Schweiss, where you have to make a choice between your personal health and family and your job.
Job first.
It's true, yeah. Apparently 60 hours is getting close to that, but it's not quite there, which is that's terrifying. I don't know how much more I could do. Technically, I guess if I did 12 every day for 6 days a week, it would be 70, 72. That, I think, would be too much.
Yeah, there's no time for anything else other than going to sleep and going to work.
Yeah, especially with the kids. It's been rough, man. It's been real rough. But hey,
see, that's why I don't want to work a job like that ever again.
Yeah, with a weird schedule.
With a weird schedule, and where they feel like they control every aspect of your life, and they can just put you down for whatever they feel like it.
Well, they can't. I choose to do it. There are people that are only working 8 hours a day. But
so it's by your own hand.
I got stuff to pay for. Well, and plus I have a sense of duty to my work and my employer. I feel like if there's a lot of work to be done, I feel like I should help with that.
Do you feel
work.
like this is helping your stance with the post office at all?
What do you mean by stance with them? Oh,
just I mean, it's all seniority based off of who rises up in the ranks.
Yeah, I think it helps the places that aren't seniority based,
right?
Because management and certain departments aren't based on seniority. They'll like to have special, they have their own criteria for recruiting people internally. And I think it helps that, but I think it doesn't help as much as me trying to learn everything. I think that's helped me more. But it's such a bullshit game that you have to play with these people to get anywhere. You'll ask them oh, what do I need to do to move up, and they'll tell you, and then they'll pick someone else for some random reason who's been there 2 years less than you. It's okay, why did that happen? They're oh, well, it was someone else wanted him. It's okay, so why the fuck give me random advice if it doesn't actually matter? I don't know. So there's a lot of politics involved. That's what I'm saying. As far as getting into management and getting into certain departments, but I don't know. I think more important than I think it's still more important to be reliable and a good worker than it is to be favored. Because there have been people that like certain supervisors really like, that eventually wears out if you're a trash employee. Like, they might like you for a few years, but in the end, if you are total dog shit, you're going to wear out your welcome. So I think I've surpassed a few of the favorites who fucking call in all the time and shit like that. So I guess it's helped. It certainly helped my fucking financial status. Like, good God. That was a big-ass house payment I just made, I'll tell you that. You know, like, my pledge to do half of one of my 2 checks into the house, I'm like, fuck, dude, that's a lot of fucking money right now.
You know what, though? Like, with you saying, like, getting the promotions and stuff to, like, where you're at, it does show, like, when people bitch, you're like, oh, it doesn't matter how hard you work. Like, it fucking does, because I'm in the same boat as you. I started as a delivery driver at my job, and now I'm a salesman for him because I fucking worked hard, was reliable, and told them, like, actively asked them to teach me things like how to grind flywheels down, or, like, how does this work into this? Like, what's going on with this? And because of that, I'm where I'm at, and I'm making, like, a decent amount of money. Like, saying that, like, hard work doesn't pay off is a cop-out, and you're a bitch for saying it. It just shows how lazy you are.
Same for me. Like, I had to put a lot of work at the bottom rung at my company, and had to put in a lot of, since I'm salaried, a lot of unpaid OT, but that paid off in bonuses and promotions. So
Yeah, and there are some companies that won't do it. I mean, I've worked jobs where there's no upward momentum. The upward momentum's not really that much more money, and it's not worth the time and effort, and those are jobs you just have to leave.
Right.
You have to find something that's going to reward you for your time.
I mean, I don't know if it's still currently, but, the best way to make a pay increase is to switch jobs, and that's just across the board.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to be competitive, and that's one of the main things.
You need to know your worth.
It'd be fun to look into kind of how office environments and how working for a company, the idea of it has changed over time. Because, back in the day, even when the previous generation was at work, company loyalty was extremely valued. But nowadays, it's not.
Well, it's because the company doesn't really care as much about you as you think they do. You're replaceable. 100% of people are replaceable, regardless of how much training you think you have. Like, it's just what happens. They'll find someone who's going to do your job for cheaper with the same amount of, training, if not a little bit less, and they'll say it's easier. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess the moral of the story is when you have a mask on, do what you feel like doing, I guess, in the moment, and tell us the outcome.
Yeah, let us know how it works out for you.
Just keep improving. If that means stealing, go. I guess that's what it is.
Nah.
Me, personally, I wouldn't have the thought of walking out with it, but, yeah.
Yeah, there you
Anything
go.
Else?
Well, damn.
Anything else, Craig?
Nope.
All right, well, you guys know where to get a hold of us, in case you forgot. 385-204-3921. You can go there. You can go to our Twitter page, @NudeClan Podcast. There is a link to the Discord channel in there. Please join the Discord. It's a lot of fun. We'll ignore your questions, but hey, they're there. We've done pretty good on the After Dark ones. It's the show questions that we're really behind on. But we'll start catching up on those, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good conversations that go on in there. There's a lot of good people, great people in the Discord channel. So join them, join us, and yeah, it makes putting together little like gaming events, and like I know a lot of people have been using it for the new Animal Crossing and shit like that. So like it's a really good app. I think it's my favorite social media app. If I were to get rid of everything else, I would just keep Discord. If in a perfect world.
I mean, it's not as much social media as it's just a way to communicate. So
yeah, I guess that's what I like about it. Yeah, if I wanted to go like bare bones, I would delete my Facebook, which I've deleted it off on my phone, or at least I logged out, and I would get rid of Twitter, but never the Discord.
Never.
Even though I hardly ever actually reply, I'm always there. Big brother, Big Schweiss sees all. Yeah. So join that
Going
and
into all the private chats, watching everything.
yeah. Oh, dude, the other day it was like the most boomer moment of my life. Let's tell it real fast. I fucking like sent a message on Discord, and I guess the last thing I had done is I clicked on Abrax's like hog team, and so I said I was going live in FF7 remake, like in there, and he was like, "This is a really awkward place to put this." And so the next time I did it, I just sent him a personal message saying I was going live. He was like, "Do you have any idea what the fuck is going on here?" Okay, Abrax, I'm going live. Thanks.
I want you to know.
Yeah, only you. Come on, big boy.
This is a private stream.
That's right. Yeah. Here's the login code. Like, it was just so fucking bizarre, but yeah. So yeah, you can enjoy that too on occasion. Just random stupid shit. So do that. Give us your questions, and we will continue to give you the best in classist content.
Classic.
Yeah. Until next time, guys. See you then.
Mankind has always been the poison.
Give up on yourselves. Give up on the world.
Every puzzle has an answer.
Dumbass. Kick logic out and do the impossible. Remember that.
I'm glad I met you guys. You made me pick up on things I probably would have just gone on ignoring.
Don't believe in yourself. Believe in me. Believe in the Kamina who believes in you. Everybody deals with grief differently, right? Some people fuck at funerals. I cut off heads. Did your teammate not see the midnight?